So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Knox from Enforced.
and we have some questions to say about their upcoming album, War Remains. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
So far, so good. Slowly reviews are starting to come in, and the standard average score is 9.5 out of 10, which is
Goddamn.
Hell yeah.
fucking awesome. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Um, really happy with it, and I'm glad that people are really vibing on it and digging it as well.
Yeah,
For
the
sure.
album is fucking insane.
It rocks, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
Thank you.
obviously, we chatted about the last record as well, and it really feels like you guys have had some momentum since then, with
Oh,
press
for
and
sure.
touring and everything. It's been awesome to see.
And yeah, we've been working really hard,
Hell yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
The cover art was kind of a collaboration with me and Joe Patagno, who drew Kill Grid. He hit me up in November of, I believe, 2021, right before we went on the Decibel tour with Obituary. And he was just like, "Hey, man, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I don't have songs or lyrics, so like I don't know what to give you." And he's like, "Just give me what you got in your notes and keep it coming." I said, okay. So I just sent him a bunch of just like psychotic gibberish I've been writing down, and he was just like, "Give me more. I need more." And
Yeah.
so I sent him like, weeks and weeks and weeks of just random emails of just blurbs of weird shit. And that's what he drew. So I was like, it's sick, but it's also kind of disturbing.
Okay. So
Um,
the cover art
because
came.
that's just what my head looks like, I guess, on the inside.
So the cover art came before the songs, pretty much.
I mean, some of the songs were already written, but like it definitely came before recording or anything like that. We were probably like halfway done with writing it,
That's
but I
crazy.
didn't have any lyrics or anything. Yeah, it was weird. He was very like gung ho about it. He was pumped, and I was like, we haven't even thought of a record yet. Um, so we had the album art first, which is new. That's different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in terms of like writing lyrics and stuff, it was cool to have like a picture or like a template on like this is the vibe that you have to stay within like the box of.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh.
so the song War Remains has kind of like multiple meanings. It can mean remnants of war
Mhm.
or war still around. It kind of just depends on who's reading it and what they interpret it from it.
Okay.
Um, but the idea was that I was reading this psychology book called A Terrible Love of War by James Hillman. And he has this whole big diatribe in the beginning, and it ends with something along the lines of like, as long as humanity exists, war shall remain. And I was like, War Remains is a great song name and a great album title. So
Mhm.
I'm going to take that. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
And kind of base the whole album, like starting from that moment going around.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, like when we're talking about the writing process for the record, it sounds like the title was already kind of decided on. The album artwork was done very early on in the writing process. Did you feel like cramped, or like you really couldn't expand on your ideas because like you had this whole visual concept already set?
No, I mean, the visual was kind of how I would have written anyway, but it just kind of gave me a clear, literally a picture of like what what to expect if I was, say, if I was one of y'all and like saw the album cover, what do you think is inside that album?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I was going to write about that stuff anyway, but now I can just get like a good visual on it, and
Yeah.
that can kind of help just as a motivational tool.
Okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
None of them took all that long. Um, I think maybe Starve probably took the longest because that the no, not Starve. Starve and Empire, because those two songs, if you were to take riffs apart and switch them in between each song, those were how they were originally constructed.
Okay.
But it didn't work out, so we switched. It didn't sound right, so we switched them around, and now it sounded a lot better. The flow was better.
Mhm.
So I guess those two because they took the most amount of work.
Mhm.
Um, and then my personal favorite, geez, probably. I think this is hard. I like them all a
That's good.
lot. Probably Aggressive Menace because that was the one that I think we were all on board of like that has to be the first song on the record
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
like once you drop the needle, it just fucking goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
I
right.
love that. I love that. I listen to that song all the time just because I'm just like I love when you just hit play and it just punches you in the face like
Yeah.
immediately. I'm
Right
just
out the
like,
It's
gate.
oh, I love
awesome.
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener, closer be closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Shuffled it around for maybe about a week. Um, we didn't. There was like a minor debate about it, but I mean, once it started kind of coming together, the pieces just kind of fell where they landed pretty much. I think the only stipulation or only problem that we had was having the quickening and hang by my hand, those being second and third kind of switched around a lot.
Mhm.
Mm.
Because there's like it could go either way. But the way, I mean, I don't it could have worked either way. And then I think Empire got shuffled around a little bit, but ultimately with the lyrics and everything that kind of seal it up at the end, that made no sense that it should be the last track. So that it was pretty seamless.
All right, that's good. Empire makes the most sense in my opinion as the closer because it's got that like
Yeah,
it has that ending feel, you know?
it's very definite. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just done.
absolutely.
You can't. There's no song coming up after that.
Yeah.
No. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
I can't really speak for the music. Um, I know Will, Zach, and Alex all, you know, write together. I think every Thursday. Um, for I think maybe like an hour and a half. So I think they're constantly, I think they're probably a little bit more comfortable with each other, working in that way and kind of keeping like a consistent routine. So I know that they're comfortable in that. And I think that's a big change from how Kilgore was because that was kind of all over the place,
Mhm.
Mm.
trying to figure out what to do in terms of when to write and how to write and stuff like that. So I think we've just gotten better at our instruments and more comfortable with the whole writing process. Um, Lyrically, I'm in a better space than I was for Kilgrid for sure. I've kind of gotten my routine down as well for writing, so it was
Well,
it was relatively easy. I mean, I'm saying that in retrospect, it was probably a pain in the ass, but I'm not like still dreading it or still thinking about it and stuff like that. I was for Kilgrid. I was super stressed for a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
Well, happy to hear that you're doing better for this album cycle.
Yeah.
Doing great,
Hell
doing
yeah.
great.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Mhm.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Headphones, just I mean, or drive around in a car. That was one of the first tests I did when I worked for this one specific company before I got fired from the last store. Um, when we were done with it, I was working at a property and I had to go to Lowe's to get light bulbs or something. I was like, I wonder if I can get to Lowe's and back to this property and hear the entire album. So it's like, and I was able to. Like I parked. Once I got back, it was over. Like the second I took the key out.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that it is a perfect quick trip to the store album. You can get through the whole thing, just running to the store real fast to grab something and coming back. So I thought that was really cool. Um, and I mean, yeah, drive around, drive fast, go on the interstate and stand on it,
Mhm.
break the law. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, whatever is the most preferable for however people listen to records or music nowadays. Like, I usually just listen to it on the record player um, or on my phone with earbuds in. But I'm also not like a big audiophile, so I kind of I'm not like super picky.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair
fair.
enough.
Yeah, it's realistic. Mhm.
Mhm.
So are you able to talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album?
Challenging or standout moments. Um, there was in the studio, they had randomly rewritten Mercy Killing Fields and they had taken the chorus out.
Mhm.
And I was like, why did you do that? That's the best part. And they're like, no, it sounds better this way. I'm like, no, it doesn't. And that was kind of I don't stand in the way of them writing songs or whatever, but that was like the one time I was like, if I'm going to put my foot down on, or die on any hill, it's this one right here. It has to
Yeah.
go back the other way.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay. And when we were done with it, they're like, yeah, it's pretty sick. I'm like, yes, I know. And then I think a challenge for Alex because we recorded Kilgrave with a click track for the drums and like a tempo map, and he had a really hard time getting that to work for Kilgrid. We tried to do it this time for War Remains, and he was just like, dude, this sucks. It's not fun. I don't play like this. It's very unnatural. Let's just delete all of it and let me just play how I want to play.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And we're like, okay. And so he did, and it's faster. It's fast as fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's how he plays live. It's just balls out, just fast. And I think I was like, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it sounds very natural. It sounds unique.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not perfect.
Mhm.
The tempo kind of wobbles all over the place, but who cares? Like at the
It's
end of the
fun.
day, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, for like the average listener, they're not gonna realize that it wasn't played to a kick. Like or sorry, to a like
Yeah, who
Yeah.
cares? Like
Yeah.
no one. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be someone who's just like that tempo changed by
right.
like 2 beats per minute. It's
Someone
like
in
This is
the
wrong.
for
in
5 seconds. Okay, sure.
like,
someone in the
Yes.
Lamb
Right.
Goat fucking
I'm
comment
admitting
section.
I'm every interview I'm doing, I'm admitting it now. I'm getting it out of the way, so no one can say shit. We
Exactly.
know, we know.
We know. Who cares?
Yeah, just
Exactly.
two people
Yeah.
care.
Two
I don't know. Whatever.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Vicious, aggressive, scathing.
Nice. That's good.
Perfect. Love it.
Yay.
So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
Yeah, I guess a sense of fear or like desperation that like the clock is ticking and you should probably, look at the future in kind of a darker light and kind of don't hope for anything because hope is fake, like doesn't exist. Um, so yeah, you should really like fend for yourself and take care of yourself and those you love and kind of, just be very aware of your surroundings. I guess I don't know. Like the world is a dark place, so just
That's true.
get used to it. It's not getting any better.
Damn.
Fair enough.
That's crazy to
Sorry.
hear. No, that's
Yeah.
that's completely fair. You're completely right. It's just we never hear like real, not I don't want to call, other responses, fake, but it's usually just whatever you get from it is awesome as long as you're listening to it. But you're being completely true. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was talking to someone yesterday about it because they were talking about the lyrics, and I'm like, I can't remember exactly what they were saying or like what they were trying to imply, but I was like, dude, it can be taken. Everything can be interpreted in like 4 or 5 different ways. So like, it just depends on the listener. So, but if, at the same time, if I have to tell you what it's about, like it's probably not good.
Mhm.
Or like what to be thinking about when you're listening to it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good, but because I don't want to steer anyone's head in any specific direction. But that's what I was trying to say.
Mhm.
But if you listen to it and you get something completely different out of it, more power to you. Cool. I'm just happy you're reading.
Yeah.
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Cup of noodle
Cup of
and a
noodle.
Red Bull.
Damn. Oh yeah.
It's a trick that I found from the last tour we were on.
Mhm.
Because if you're on tour in the winter, it sucks. Especially if you're like in the Midwest or in the Pacific Northwest, the weather sucks. Your feet are always cold and it's hard to warm up.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So when you go to the gas station, get the spicy cup noodle, get the hot water tap from the coffee maker,
Mhm.
and then just sip on some hot soup. It's, I mean, how much hot food are you going to get from like a random gas station? Not much, but
Exactly.
That's
that's
fair.
one reliable one.
All right.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah.
my favorite used to be a big bag of beef jerky and a really big sugar free Red Bull,
Mhm.
but I might go back to that since we're going to be touring in the summer. I don't know,
Yeah.
but touring in the winter,
Mhm.
cup noodles.
All
Yeah.
right.
Good.
That's a good
Glad
tip.
that you're going. Yeah, glad you're going in the summer. You get to have stuff you enjoy rather than like survival food.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's still going to be a survival mode, but
True.
I'll have to, or maybe I'll bring my own.
There you go. It's always an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So on the topic of food, if the band was the dish, what dish would the band be and why?
What would the dish? What dish would we be?
Mm-hmm.
A good Sunday spaghetti dinner.
Oh.
Um, if we have like an off day or something, we'll usually get an Airbnb like in between of wherever we're playing
Mm-hmm.
and just make a big spaghetti dinner or like order pizza or something like that. But usually it's pasta. So that's we did that in Europe. We've done that in the States. Like I think that's something we're always gonna do, hopefully.
Wow. Are you
But
all like cooking together in the kitchen?
it most of it's will, but yeah, sometimes everyone will chip in a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when we got to the place we were staying in France before a show really early, and we bought all these. We're suckers for charcuterie boards,
Yeah.
and like in France is like super easy to make like a bomb ass one.
Mm-hmm.
So and really cheap. So we got all these crazy um sausages and cheeses and stuff. I had no idea what I was buying, but I just bought a ton of it.
Yeah.
And Will made spaghetti, and I made this huge charcuterie board uh, next to a hot tub, and just fed everyone in the hot tub.
That's awesome, man. That sounds
Oh,
awesome.
it
Yeah.
was fun as hell.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
Mhm.
So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
Just for the sake of friendship, I'll say a snake. Um, my friend Andy is like an amateur herpetologist, so he like goes out in the middle of nowhere to find like turtles and snakes and lizards and stuff.
That's awesome.
And he's been traveling all over the country finding cool snakes and taking awesome pictures of them and stuff. So for his collection, I'd like to be a corn snake, the one that's it's like red with the yellow and black stripes.
Yeah.
That one.
All right.
Good pick. All right. So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ben Franklin.
Okay.
Um, in his day, he was like the pseudo like jack of all trades, kind of like armchair scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that from reading his autobiography. So I would like to have like a sit down chat with him and be like, okay, here's where you're wrong about everything. And two, and two, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
And we'll do it over McDonald's, which like the taste to him would probably his head would explode.
Yeah, that would kill him, actually.
I'm sure it would.
Salt
And then
overload.
I would show him an iPhone, and then he would eat a McNugget, and his head would just like, implode.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
would be on the $100 bill.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
One person. I bring my girlfriend, Megan. She's very outdoorsy, so we could definitely make it work.
That's good.
Um, one movie. Well, she's gonna be on the island with me. I gotta bug the hell out of her. So let's do Biodome.
Mhm.
And one album again because I got a bugger, the Biodome soundtrack. Now, I would probably say either it's a tie. It's either Sepultura or KSAD or Hatebreed Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. One of those two.
Nice.
Because if I want to be chopping down trees and everything, I got to get some music to pump me up.
Of course,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
New album comes out April 24th, geez, April 28th.
Hmm.
Follow us on Instagram at EnforcedRVA for all the news and where you can find the albums and tickets to our upcoming tour with Venom and Exhumed and Acid Witch, along with all the other tours that are about to be announced. Um, that's pretty much it. Just thanks for listening, and hope you all enjoyed the episode.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you for sounds of a Knox from Enforced, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.